Mr. Abdul's.
He said he left his class.
No, this one is my expensive key. Yeah, it's here.
That's it.
Yep. Okay. As weather is so sweet, I want to say good morning. All right, good afternoon, everybody. I don't want to do Live Not to Forget. I will have said Live Not to Forget Hayat Tudi, right? So today is our last class for this particular course. Chief, is there a way we can do a pool, like this thing where people can choose options? Yeah, like on Telegram or something. Okay, so I want us to do a poll on when should we do our assessment. It's going to be objectives, and also within next week, hopefully. So if you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the time will be around 2 to 3. So set up the pool, please, and then post it to the software engineering group. Thank you very much. All right. Once again, good afternoon. So far, we've discussed on a lot of things. We've covered a lot of things, and we're still working on so much. Can I have the link to the YouTube? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to access the YouTube channel. Well, we still have about 3 minutes to go. Where's the time media for chop food first? I'm helping my friend charge Hamdi. My phone charger. Okay. Next institution. Class never started. Somebody asked for attendance list. The class has not even started. Somebody is asking for attendance list. Now, the time people say before election finish, then they ask for INEC results. When we go finish the class first, now then you ask for attendance. So now if you give attendance, you just work out comment. Ah. Ah. So it's good that you send it now. Oh, okay. So I think the guy that is asking for attendance, because no attendance is there already. It's on the telephone gram, that one. Okay. It's not television now. Okay, so. So we still have about 3 minutes to go. Okay, we have about 23 people so far. Yeah. Okay, we still have a minute to go. John Otogwe. I think I've sent the notes, right? On Telegram, I think I've sent the notes. Go. For the first 3. No, I've sent for the first 3. Yeah. Yeah. Now, you did a chop sheet. I don't even know. Say I don't send the third note. It's well. Somebody is saying we should evening. If we said the assessment towards evening, now one madam will come and say, when the assessment was going on, I was there waiting for my husband, and now we're going to set it towards afternoon by God's grace. Even if it matters us moving into Saturday, I don't mind, but it's going to be in the my chicken was sick and I took her to the hospital. Okay? Maybe our fault that you did not see them, but me, I know say I don't do my own part. Maybe check, maybe ask you. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So far, we've been able to discuss on a lot of things. We've discussed on things like, okay. We discussed on things like the computer itself, what makes up a computer. We've discussed on things that relate to the RAM, ROM, the processors, the hard drives, and so on and so forth. Um, Apart from that, we discussed the network aspect of it, of the class, which we talked about how computers transmit data between themselves, share information between themselves. Okay. We discussed on things like type of topology. We discussed on things like why and so on and so forth. Now, we're going to continue with the class. We're software component of the class. Now, to add this to your outline is because you guys are studying software engineering and you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay. For those of you online asking for attendance, I was informed that the attendance has been sent. So please go to the Telegram to get the attendance sheet. And then for those of you that are saying the file I sent is too heavy, well, there is cost to everything, and you can try to download it. I think most of them, maximum I think is 200 MB, right? Now, these are the same people that will put five just talk to the Kiniko, and now 200 MB is a problem. Biko, please, let's be serious, okay? Now, software programming, what is it? Hmm? Well, before we go into what is software programming, um, let's talk about the agenda of today's class, okay? Uh, in this class, we're going to talk about programming. We're going to talk about desktop applications. We're going to talk about mobile applications. We're going to talk about web applications. We're going to discuss on hybrids, and then we're going to conclude the class. Now, before we start with any of those, let's first of all understand what is programming. Programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform what? A task. In layman's sense, you can look at programming as science in humans. Can you see it? You can if you want to see it. If you see madman, you know see a madman. But then programming tells a computer what to do and how to do it, as at when to do it. Okay? If, for instance, you pick up your phone and you open Facebook, you tap on Facebook, and after like 30 minutes, you've even left the Facebook, you've gone to do transfer, and then you come back, and then that is when it's opening. Is that when you expect it to open? The answer is no. So it has to be defined as a set of instructions that tell the computer what to do, how to, and when to. Okay? These instructions are written in something called programming languages, right? Which has its own syntax and rules. Now, look at programming languages as more to like our natural languages, whereby you know that there is no language in this world that doesn't have the word come, go, food, drink, and so on, right? But the way you say it is different from the way I say it. It's different from the way he says it, and Wazobia, right? And that is the simplest way of. We're talking about three different languages saying the same single word, right? Just one mistake in that Wazobia, they should add come at the end. Because we do Wazobia come in Nigeria, Abi. Yoruba, and then we have to add the English. Okay? So, each programming language has its own syntax and rules, and the people that program are called what? Good. And what they do? They write code. Codes that what the computer can understand and execute. Okay? A programmer writes code that computer can understand. Programming involves tasks such as designing algorithms, writing the code, testing the program, and debugging errors. Believe you me, as a programmer in my past life, well, I'm still programming, but in my past life, as a co-programmer, I've had situations whereby a single error will hold me for the whole night. And then I will, at the end of it all, I will get to realize that it was my mistake. It's something I didn't put that is making me misbehave. And the annoying part of debugging and testing is that the problem will be looking at you right in your eyes, you will not see it. Just like when you are writing WAEC and then you forget how to spell is, right? You know how to spell it, it's right there in your brain, but you don't work out. So that's how it is. So sometimes it's very important for you to find someone else to test and to test and go through your code. That way, the problems you don't see, the person might easily what? See them. And that is the problems are than giving what? Solution. Everybody can shout, what problem here, problem there, Nigeria this, Nigeria that. Where the solution be? Okay, let's move on. Mental skill in computer science and is used to create what? Software, website, desktop apps, OS, many more. To mention things that programming can be used for, that person has put you in trouble, a very big trouble. Because what programming can do, what you can do with programming is endless. Okay, it's what? Endless. Some of the things you see and you take them not to be like, you don't take them to be programmable, they are programmable. So let's programming language. The programming language is a formal language that consists of a set of instructions and rules used to communicate with the computer. These instructions often referred to as what? Codes. Codes are written by programmers to perform a specific task or solve a specific or particular problem. Programming allows humans to convey instructions to computers in a structured and understanding. That guy that is screaming at the computer, that is not how programming works. Okay, that is not the way that you communicate the instructions to the computer. No, this guy is just shouting at the computer at black screen. Maybe the person loses his crypto. Who knows? Or maybe you can't fix the error. Believe you me, sometimes you start shouting at the computer at 2 a.m. and then you realize that it's not even human. Now, semantics, rules, code is written and interpreted or the history of programming can be traced back to us with the development of early mechanical computing devices such as Charles Babbage, which laid the conceptual computers. However, modern programming as we know it in the 20th century. Okay? Now, to date, there have been different programming languages. Languages come and die. That is the same way some programming language. Now, there are many languages in Nigeria today that does not exist anymore. In Nigeria, there are so many languages that are no longer spoken. The children of those people that used to speak those languages has dominated their tongue to the stage whereby they have, if you go to the middle belt, if you go towards languages, apart from Hausa, you have the Pirom, you have the, if you go to Nasarawa, the same thing, you have the Gwandara, you have the, there are so many of them, as Yemen. All right? In Abuja, you have, apart from the Wazobia, you have the Gade, you have the, there are languages come up and they die off, okay? And some languages, people don't even program in them anymore, okay? All right. So you have programming languages like Fortran, you have things like COBOL, you have things like Algo. Most of today's programming is done in practically hmm, to speak, especially in Nigeria, is either PHP, Python, JavaScript, and some other few. You have things like that. Them later. So, so you have programming languages like, you have things like assembly languages, you have high-level languages, you have structured programming, and then you start to have things like object-oriented programming, and then you have the rest. Okay, we're going to discuss on a few of these programming languages very soon. Assembly languages, programming languages that closely correspond to what machine code instruction. Okay, it's used mnemonic code to represent memory allocations directly. Now, as a programmer, one of the first things you learn in programming, right? The first thing you learn in any programming language, most of the tutorials you watch on YouTube or you will watch on YouTube, the first thing they will teach you is how to display hello world. And all you have to do is just write one line of code that says print, and then you put the brackets of quotation, and then you say hello world, right? Now, for low-level programming languages, you have something like this because you have to deal with things like memory allocation. You need to deal with things like displaying and so on and so forth. Okay. High-level programming languages. A high-level programming language is a programming language that is designed to be easy to read, It's easy for humans to read and write and understand. Okay. Those of you online, is my voice still cracking? Is the audio still cracking? Those of you online. Sorry, they're saying that the voice is cracking. I don't know. Is my voice still cracking? Those of you online. All right. So let's move on. Okay, I think those of you that have your audio cracking, I think is from your own network. Okay. I think your MTN is not behaving the way we want it to behave. Okay. Now, it abstracts away much of the complexity of the underlying hardware and provide constructs and abstracts that makes it easy to develop complex applications. Okay, high level languages are intended to be portable across different computer architecture, meaning that can typically be run on different type of computers without modification. Now, one of those high level languages is Python. With Python, you can write Python on Mac and run it on Windows, Ubuntu, easily. No, you don't have to change a single letter. Another programming language that works wonderfully in that aspect runs on something called Java. Is it Java development? No. GRE, no? Java runtime environments. GRE. So Java is programming language like Java. You write the code on Windows, you can run it on no problem. Okay. But so there are other programming languages that if you run them on, if you Windows, things like C Sharp. C Sharp, you run on Windows. I don't think you can run C Sharp on Mac. I don't think so. Requires .NET to run. Well, let's move on. Structured programming. Now, structured programming emerged in the late 1960s and become more prominent throughout the programming paradigm. It aimed at improving the clarity, quality, and reliability of software. One of the things I want you to understand is that when we talk about programming, we're not just talking about okay. You don't just write a code for a single file. You have like 300 files that you are working on concurrently. So if well written, if your code is not well written, then you're going to definitely have a problem because somewhere you might need to debug or you might need to correct. And if your code is messy, God have mercy on your soul. Good afternoon. Programming laid the foundation for later paradigms such as object-oriented programming, object-oriented programming. OOP emerged as it is in the 1970s and gained significant popularity. It represented a departure from the procedural programming approach, new concepts and techniques for organizing and managing code. Some of the languages C++, Objective-C, Java, and so on. Okay. Web. Now, web is relatively new in the business because now those of you the reason why I'm being a bit hasty today is because Abdul is coming to take over in an hour time. Okay, because there's supposed to be a handshake between my class and his class. Now, I think we're going to take over the class, and I will have to give him the podium. Okay, you still owe me one class, right? Online. We'll find time and do that. Internet and web development refer to the process and maintaining websites and web applications that are accessible over the what? The internet. We've discussed how computers tend to transfer messages between themselves. Apps, web apps lives on a server somewhere to that server, and that server gives you what? A response. Okay? And we'll see. So, and then there is difference between a website and a web app. Okay? You want to know the information about let's say about Bayes University, you go to the website, right? And then you get to see the information about Bayes University. Though this it's more to web app than website because it has dynamic content. Each. Just like your biography, it's a static page. Provided you don't put you've entered the necessary information, it doesn't change. It's static. Okay. But with today's websites, we have something more. We have more like because we have dynamic content within the website. Okay. The field of web development since the inception of the World Wide Web in the okay. Now, desktop what is desktop application? Anyone? What is desktop application? What does it look like? Mm-hmm. This application is a software program designed to run on a personal what? Computer. Or what? Or what? Unlike web application server or a web browser, this application typically run directly on where? Without requiring what? Although some desktop applications require internet what? For ERPs require internet connectivity for them to work. Okay? They're desktop applications, but requires internet to work. Like which app? Nope. Yes, desktop app. So like what? Which like WhatsApp or Facebook? True. Like which other one? Skype. True. Like which other app? Let's take a real case scenario, a real world scenario whereby you go to the bank and then you withdraw money. The bank that you went to, they are not online. And then you go to another bank. Can you be able to withdraw money again? Why? But they're not online. Let me expand it. You go to let's assume you and you, right? You are bank A, you are bank B. Hmm? She comes to you, bank A, and withdraw 10,000 naira. That is the last money in her account. But you're not online. She then hurry that same 10,000 naira. Will it be possible? Why not? You're not online. You're not communicating. It will not reflect because you are not online. The data will not be shared. So if you withdraw from bank A and the bank the same information that you withdraw the money, that means you'll go to bank B and withdraw the money again. They will explain entire no evidence. Hmm? That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That we're talking about apps that require to work. Desktop applications that require internet to work. So we set example of okay, let's assume bank A and bank B are the same branch. Let me not say EcoBank, so EcoBank will come and say I'm doing this service. Let's say EcoBank, Zenith, GT, and all of them together combined, right? You as a customer, you go to bank A. Bank A is not connected to bank B, and you withdraw 10,000, and you go to bank B, and bank B. I don't know if you understand. Will you be able to withdraw from bank B? The answer is yes. You can because bank B doesn't know that you don't have that income anymore. Okay. Now, for the sub applications is the next question. There are many of them. Few, but there are many of them. You have things like Python, C Sharp, Java, C++, Electron. There are many of them, like I said. I can only tell you what? Few of them. Okay? Now, all of them? The answer is no. Because if you spend the entirety of your life learning all of them, you don't have time to earn money. If you spend the entirety of your time learning the programming languages, the question is, will you have the time to go and earn money with those programming languages? The answer is no, you'll not. So what do? You learn one. Okay? You learn one. When you learn one, the rest are similar to that one. Even if the syntax are not the same, they are similar because the same things applies to those ones. Okay? At the end of the class, please remind me. I will tell you how to learn how to. I will explain to you how you're going to learn how to program. Okay? Remind me, please, because I used to forget things. Welcome. Mobile apps. What is a mobile app? Software around on mobile. That is it. Now, during the test, I might ask you true or false. Is mobile app software runs on desktop? Well, I don't lose all mark already. Mobile apps, they run on desktop? Are mobile apps applications that run on desktop? Yes, you can use other applications that mimic a mobile phone. applications like BlueStack. You can use, I think, is it Memo or something? I don't know. So there are many of them that you can install on your computer, and they will mimic a mobile phone. In fact, they will mimic a mobile phone so beautifully that you'll be wondering, is this thing not a mobile phone at all? Yeah. So, but then the question, if you listen to the question is asking, are mobile applications that runs on a desktop? The answer is no. Okay. All right. Now, a mobile application is a software application specifically designed to run on what? Mobile devices. Or what? Or tablets. Mobile apps can serve a variety of what? Purpose, ranging from productivity, communication, entertainment, education, to what? Bank transfer. Huh? Okay. Mobile application on desktop. No, guys, please listen to questions before you start answering them, and understand the question before you start answering them. Somebody is saying yes if you use emulator. On the options, there is no yes if you use emulator. It's yes or no. If you say yes, you fail it. Pick on, please, in the name of God. Understand the question first before you go about answering. That's why I always tell my students: understand my questions first before you go about answering them. Because if you add more answer to it in your mind, you fail it. You are asked a question between car and train. Which one is faster? You say Okada. Who had Okada instead of option? Hmm? I mean, between jollof rice and egusi soup, which one sweet pass? You say Ogono. And soup now, soup now. It doesn't work that way. So please try and understand the question and try to understand the limit to the answers you are giving before you answer. Because if you give the answer for your mind, can't say yes. When you use emulator, yeah, emulator will go me for the answer. This thing, Abi. Not my fault. If you are an emulator, go do kiniko, my hand no dey. Now, most mobile applications are downloaded from where? Play Store. Where else? App Store. Where else? Hmm? Maybe one of the questions will be maybe which of the following is not a store you can download mobile apps, and then I'll give you guys stores, different type of stores, and then you pick one that is not the right one. So somebody is saying my voice and the video different to different this thing. Okay, now mobile app programming languages include things like what? For Android, you are dealing with Java or Kotlin. Okay? For Android, you're dealing with Java or what? Kotlin. For iOS applications, you are dealing with Swift. If it's an older version, you're dealing with Objective-C. If you're developing a cross-platform, some people online are doing they are giving us more stores after they don't type up for Google check. Like say we don't know what they do. Just because say we no together no mean say we no fit see what they do. We dey see. Okay. For iOS, you have things like Swift and Objective C. Okay, if the app is if it's an older version of iOS, and then on cross-platform applications, you have things like React Native, you have things like Flutter, Xamarin, iOS. Now, on native hybrid, you have something like Apache Cordova. Okay, you can use all of these to develop applications. Are we together? Are we together? Those of you online, are we together? The guys online, it seems as if we have to wait for like 15 seconds for them to be able to catch up with us. All right. All right. Let's move forward. Now, web applications. Web applications are software programs that runs on what? On a web server. Now, what is a web server? Again, what is a web server? Mm-hmm. What is a web server? If you want to rent a house in Abuja today, how many of you guys rent a house here? You're not staying in your father's house, you're renting. When you wanted to rent the house, did you meet the landlord? Eh? You met the agent. And then the agent tell you the house is 1.5 million. Abi? And then you pay him agent fee, registration fee, right? After you pay the registration fee, you paid him what else? Caution fee. And then maybe you do lawyer fee too. And then you rent the house, right? Now a server is like is like where the application is residing. Okay. Now a server can consist of the server itself, the database, the scripting language or programming language that is handling requests, and so on. Or it can be distributed, whereby you have the database in US, you have the app that is processing things in China, you have the front end, you that is trying to access the site is in Nigeria. And all of them will communicate seamlessly and give you that information within the slightest seconds. Okay? So, you don't need to install web applications, although in some instances it will ask you if you want to install. Like if you try to access Facebook, it will ask you if you want to install Facebook. If you try to access YouTube, it will tell you, you have YouTube for mobile phone. Now, why are you trying to check YouTube on a web browser? Go to our own, that is mobile app. What is the problem? Okay, so web applications use standard web technologies such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript for doing what? UI, user interface, which are designed to be responsive and what? Interactive. Of them? Okay. At the end of the class, please remind me, let me tell you the story between JavaScript programming languages, scripting languages. Okay? All right. Type of web applications. We have two types of web applications, which is what? Static and what? Dynamic. What does static means? Hmm? Nope, that's not static. Let me give you a simple example. Do you have Facebook account? Do you have Facebook? Facebook too. What about you? Let's assume everybody has Facebook. Does Facebook come to you and start on your own website specifically? No. And then when you log in, You see only information that relates to what? To you. Same thing if she logs into her Facebook, she will see what? Information that relates to what? To her. Same format, everything is the same thing, nothing changes. A static web page doesn't change. It remains as it is. Think of a static web page like huh. Think of it like a house that has not been renovated for how will change now? If you don't beat them, it will change color, definitely. Static web pages don't change. They will just remain as is. The data will not change. It will still remain as it is, unless somebody updates it manually. Okay? Now, dynamic web pages are who is accessing it and what information has been delivered to it first. Okay? I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay. Facebook. I mean, when I make a Facebook, you have Facebook, right? Twitter is a dynamic web page. Instagram, Snapchat, to name a few. Are we together? Um, Google is not static. It's not static. Maybe it's been a while since you check Google, but sometimes you check Google, you see balloons. When is your birthday? Have you no be like? Okay. It depends on the content. Is it that does the content change after a while? Let's assume you're running Electron, or let's assume you're running Express.js, and then you have a folder called static, right? And you have the HTML in there. Now, if you're running, let's say if you're running Express, that you have template engines, you can still pass content to that particular HTML page and display them, right? On static web pages, it doesn't change. I can't think of it. It's been ages since I last saw static web pages. It's been ages. A lot of things. Back when people used to call email websites, hmm, let's go to the back when people used to call email websites, right? Back then there were so many static web pages. Why? Reason is because we don't have dynamic, okay? And with time, we started developing dynamic web applications. And those dynamic web applications, okay, Abdul is here. Let me see. How many slides do I have? I have about 4 slides to go, sir. I have 4 slides to go. Can we or should I have to go through them and read on their own? Okay, let me put the car on cruise control. Okay, 160 kilometers per hour, maybe a bit more. Now, static web pages are pages that deals with receiving information from databases and displaying them. They don't they are on dynamic web pages. The information change with time. You post new status, it changes. It shows new status. You post new photo. I'm chilling in dunes. I'm chilling in Jabi Park. It will keep adding things to it. Static web pages, they don't. They just remain as is. One of the static web pages you might find is a biography of someone that has died, right? This is a site dedicated for social person that has died. The person is not changing any new status. It's not posting any new photo. So you have a static web page for that person. Or a company that doesn't do much, you can have a static web pages for that company. But most applications today are what? Dynamic. Okay? Now, to develop a static web pages, you need something called a HTML file. Okay? You create an HTML file, you add your tags like inputs, tags like H1, image, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, this particular code you are looking at on my screen is showing what? An input field that says, hold this for me. An image, and then it's showing a box with what? Yellow-green background. Now, this style that you're looking at here, what is this style? Is something called CSS. Okay? CSS is referred to as cascading style sheet. Okay? The rest of the things you are seeing on the screen are called tags. Guys, most of the programming, you don't need to memorize them. Once you start doing it constantly, you will enter. Even if you're going to calculate well, small, you will enter. Okay? So the output for this look like this. Okay? The input is here. Where's the input? Hold this for me. You can see the image by the side. You can see the green box, which is this right here, where it says width 10 pixels, height 10 pixels, background. Okay, so this is it here. You see, this is the P tag. This is H1. This is H2, H3. Bold, which is this one right here, where it says bold. And you see the one with the B, bold text with B tag, right? Emphasis and italic. Emphasis used here and italic used here. Okay. For dynamic web applications, you deal with things like Python, HTML, CSS, MySQL. Well, I believe the next facilitator will be teaching you guys how to delve into the Python part of it, not the snake for programming. Okay, I know some of you guys will want it to be the snake, so that you'll see who will shout. Okay. Okay. Somebody is saying, how can Google be static? Okay. Um, this is a simple sequence diagram of how a dynamic web page works. You have a student, not you, but a student, clicks on the login button, and then he sends a request to what? To validate. The validation, who will do the validation is the server. The server takes it and says, what do you want to do? You want to validate this user because he's trying to log in. It sends the information to what? Database. Database checks and confirms, it turns back, and then it returns back to what? The user interface. If it's successful, if it's an error, it displays the error. Okay? Now, today's class. There's something I said I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you about, right? What is it? Remind me again. No. How you learn how to program? Okay. If you want to learn how to program, this is what you go to YouTube. Search. Why do you want to learn it? Okay. Maybe you realize that most of the people that are getting money are getting money from Python. Pythonista. Right? Now, you want to learn Python, go to YouTube and Google applications in Python. To do now, they're going to teach you 4 basic things in that particular tutorial. The first one is how to create delete a to-do and display list of what? To-dos. The rest, you learn them bit by bit. The core is for you to know how to take a record from your take a record from the user, process the record, and dump it into a database. How to read that record out of the database, how to update the record in the database, and how to delete. That is it. Okay? For Python and any other programming language you want to learn. If it's Electron, same thing. If it's Python, sorry, if it's PHP, same thing. If it's C Sharp, same thing. If it's Objective C, same thing. Swift, any programming language you want to learn, pick a to-do application that someone is doing. And one thing, please, don't, if the person is using version 1.1, you do version 1.1. He's laughing, he knows the reason why. If you are watching version, he's doing version 1, you're doing version 3, he will do something your own will not do. And then you start worrying, hey, am I not doing it right? Exactly what you do. I do. Why am I only do? That is the reason why. Okay? So please make sure that you are following the same version, the same exact version. Okay? Thank you very much for having me. I will release the floor to Abdul Muttalib, and I think we will continue with the class. Thank you. This year we'll do election and then we'll decide when. Come again? This Friday is that. And we'll do it now. We'll do it at 8 p.m.